Hello, parents of the West Shore School District and fellow taxpayer, and welcome to the Boiling Point. So today we will be having some updates about the West Shore School District. But what a year has it been, huh? Our year has started with a bang, internationally, nationally, and locally. But for those who are fellow believers, we know what that means. That time is short and his coming is at hand. And those who do not believe, I would suggest get yourself to a church and make your peace with God because we are seeing prophecy unfold right before our eyes. But that being stated, let's get to the matter at hand. So it's been a heck of a year for the West Shore School District also. So this year we saw the changing of the board members. We have a brand new school board. We only have three conservatives, and the rest are libtards. And we have the tyrant in chief back in his seat, which is Brian Geiswhite. And what I hear, he is as arrogant as ever and as tyrannical as ever. But parents, like we've been saying all this time, elections have consequences. So, what has been happening in the West Shore School District? Well, we'll start by saying that the West Shore School District proudly taxing you into the next decade while teaching your IEP kids that inclusion means getting roasted by students and side-eyed by the teachers' lounge. So we have been having for a couple years now some issues with our special ed department here in the West Shore School District. Our special ed children are last on the totem pole and they have been experiencing bullying from the other students in the school, and the staff has turned a blind eye to this. Okay, so we still have bullying happening in the West Shore School District with our special ed children, not only by students but also by staff members. And hopefully, within the next 2 weeks, I will have a father here speaking about his child and his experience in the West Shore School District's special ed department. Okay, our special ed department really needs help. Um, yes, we are understaffed. I understand that, but that is not an excuse nor a reason for our special ed kids to be bullied by staff members and by students. Now, that being stated, we had a parent today, actually this week, speak to CBS. And kudos to the parent. Okay. I believe her last name is Harris, to Mrs. Harris, Mr. and Mrs. Harris. We're speaking to CBS about their concerns with what happened with their child. And I would encourage parents that are having these situations to reach out to your local media, to reach out to the boiling point, okay, and get the word out there of what's really happening in the West Shore School District. Now, as per the parent, her child is in the special ed department and suffers seizures. Okay, and these seizures, as per what the father was saying, can come on every other day, which means that she needs a school aide, okay, in picking her up, being with her in school, and also ensuring that the child gets home safely. But that is apparently what is not happening. Either the school aides are not showing up, and in the last interaction, the school aide actually was dropped off home by the bus driver with the child still in the bus. What was supposed to happen was the child was supposed to be taken home first, and then the school aide should have been the last one you to leave that bus. Now, people want to blame the bus driver. I mean, the bus driver probably is not, and I don't know this for a fact, okay? So this is just my opinion. There's a possibility that the bus driver does not know the severity of the condition of the child. Because imagine that school aide that does know the severity goes home, clocks out, leaves that child on the bus. What would have that bus driver been able to do if that child would have had a seizure in that bus? Think about it for a minute. If the bus driver was not aware of the severity and what's happening with that child, and that child would have gone into a seizure, what would that bus driver have been able to do? Now, with that being stated, I'm sure that the bus driver would have tried to do whatever, was in his or her power. But being alone in the bus with a child who's having a seizure, and if that bus driver does not have any medical training, what could have happened? Okay, and these are the things that we need to see. Okay, so they reached out to the West Shore School District, and Brandon Long, the director of communication, this is his reply to CBS. Now, I understand that he's doing his job, but the reply, well, it's really standard and it's really what we expect from the West Shore School District. But this is what he said. West Shore School District remains committed to ensuring we meet students' need and provide safe transportation. Eh, that has been proven false many a time, and you know that, Brandon. And Brandon lately has become a disappointment to us when it came to last year's elections. But that's something for another podcast. The district does not comment on individual student situations as they involve protected student information. Okay. Any concerns brought to the attentions are reviewed and addressed directly with the family through appropriate channels. We appreciate your understanding regarding student privacy. Well, hopefully this was addressed and it was addressed appropriately, Brandon. Now, this is not your job to address. I understand that it is the school board, but we have seen how the school board has addressed the parents, ignored the parents, and things go unattended. Now, I say that to say, I was speaking to some of the community members, in reference to the situation, and somebody said something to me that, made sense. But my reply is this. The person said, well, they probably don't have it in their budget, to pay the school aids, the school aids that we need. Okay, that's good and dandy. But with the amount of taxes that we, the parents and the taxpayers of Cumberland County pay, they should be able to have the school aid, and they should be able to have the services that these but now they're too busy acting, and they want to rent, solar panels for garages, and they want terrazzo tiles for their floor, which terrazzo, yes, people will argue, terrazzo, it could be very inexpensive, but yes, but determining on the pattern and the size that terrazzo is going to cover, it can be very expensive too. So let's stop blowing air up people's tushies and let's speak the truth here. With the amount of taxes that they are breaking the um, citizens of Cumberland counties, okay, back with the West Shore School District, with the amount of taxes that they are charging, they should be able to pay these school aides. Okay, and any school staff the monies required to make sure that our children are safe, especially the special ed department. We have had parents speaking about the special education department, how it's very lacking in the West Shore School District, how they are understaffed, how children are being abused, how some of these teachers are condescending and sometimes even abusive towards our children, and nothing's being done. It is being ignored. Now, special ed is one of the most difficult departments, okay, in areas to cover. I understand that, but up the money. Because I'm sorry, a computer teacher should not be making more money than a teacher, okay, and aides that are working with our special ed students that, of course, require more attention and more services. But that is what's happening. Our special ed teachers and our special ed school aides and staff members that work with the special ed students, okay, they're at the bottom of the totem pole and they're not being paid adequately, okay, and there are services that they do not have in order to service our children. Getting to what happened in the bus, that was unacceptable. I understand what the excuse of the school aid was. They're not going to pay me overtime. I needed to get home. I had an appointment, whatever the case may be. That is unacceptable. Your responsibility was to make sure that this child was safe, not only in school, but got back home safely. So, this thing of you walking out of the school bus was totally inappropriate. And I really hope that the parents push this, as far as they can until they get results, because we know that the West Shore School District board members, okay, at least the majority, which is these liberal people sitting there, they don't care about your kids. They do not care about your kids. They care about their woke agendas. They care about the LGBTQ agendas. Okay. They care about getting your money. Okay. They care about all this frivolity versus caring about the actual education and safety of our children. And I don't care who likes it or not. I'm going to state it. Now, the other thing that's been happening in the West Shore School District since the new year is we also had an incident of a student, I believe it was two students, attacking or assaulting some of our teachers. I think it was two teachers. Okay. And one of the teachers is looking to file assault charges against the student. as it should be if the student is guilty. Now, if you heard the school board meeting, they started, we were discussing situations with some students, when they started the school board meetings. Yes, the situation that they were discussing, number one was the CBS broadcast, and secondly, it was this thing with the students assaulting the teachers. And this is not the first time this has happened in the West District. We have students assault teachers, we have students assault each other, we have violence and we have drugs in the West Shore School District. But yet we have the superintendent, Todd Stoltz, okay, state many a times in school board meetings, we have no violence in the West Shore School District. That is Mrs. Reed making this up. No, it's not Mrs. Reed making this up. Mrs. Reed can prove that there is violence in the school board, okay, in the school district. I apologize, I did not mean to say school board. In the school district, in our schools, there is violence going on in the use of drugs going on in the West Shore School District, but the administration is turning a blind eye. Okay, because as reports of violence in our schools and the use of drugs go up, okay, his status, his standing, the West Shore School District standing goes down. So they want the teachers to hush up about it, and they want the children to hush up about it. But no, the children are not hushing up about it. They're telling the parents, and these are things that are happening at the West Shore School District. Okay, so we have that situation right now, presently, that some students assaulted some teachers, and one of the teachers is looking to press assault charges as they should. But these are things that they want to, brush under the rug or sweep under the rug so they can keep you, the taxpayer, blindfolded, not seeing what's really happening. Then, of course, we have the regular incidents that's happening, I think, every year in every school ever since the start of time. We had children, set off the fire alarms in Cedar Cliff High School. Now, I have said for a while now that Cedar Cliff High School is a problem high school. We have some problem students there, and it's a high school that needs to be reined in. So let's see if the school board, if they have the ability to put down their work agendas and address the issues at hand here. Okay. So these are the updates that I have at the moment. I am sure that there's more. Okay. Yesterday progressed. Okay. Special child on a bus by the school aide. Yes, our special education department has always been disastrous. Okay, our special ed department is bottom of the totem pole. Our special ed teachers are not being paid what they should be paid, nor are their aides, and the resources for the special ed students is usually at the bottom of the totem pole. And keep in mind the amount of taxes that you're paying every year, guys. Keep in mind. But they want the big, beautiful buildings, but they're not addressing the things that need to be addressed. So now this year we've also had students assault teachers fighting back, and the teacher potentially filing an assault charge. Okay. Um, we have bullying from special ed teachers to special ed students. Hopefully, we'll have a father here in 2 weeks that will speak up on the matter. Oh boy, so many things, right? Just so many things going on at the West Shore School District. Of course, we have a superintendent always denying that these things are happening. And keep an eye open, guys, because like I stated, elections have consequences, and we're starting to see the consequence now. Now, I want to put the parents on alert of something that's going to happen this year at the Capitol, and it's going to happen this week. So, as we all know, what happened in Minneapolis with that lady, okay, and ICE, and you know, it was a terrible thing to see, um, terrible thing to happen to anybody. But it just shows, where our society is. And it's funny, the Bible says that in the last days they will cook good bad and bad good. Okay, so this is the updates that I have at the moment. Give because in not complying there are consequences. Okay, so this week on the 15th at 4 p.m., the students of Central PA are going to go to the Capitol steps in Harrisburg to do their protests against ICE. Parents, we're already seeing what's happening nationally, locally. Please keep your child away from this event. This has the possibility of turning violent. Okay? We're seeing what's happening in the media. Please keep your children away from this event. So, with that stated, this is Mariana from the Boiling Point signing off. God bless.